Hey, Austin Netzley here, author, investor, and founder of 2X. For the past 2 years, we've been working with 6- and 7-figure business owners all across the world to help them get free from the day-to-day operations so they can scale their income and business faster than ever before. And now we're showing you the real-life stories, the real-life principles of what matters as you try to scale, as we walk a handful of entrepreneurs through the journey to go from 6 to 7 figures. Come, check it out. Hey, and welcome to another episode of From 6 to 7 Figures. Austin Netzley here with 2X, and what we're doing today is breaking down one of my good friends, Eric Moeller's business, to show you what actually matters in getting to the next level. Most 6-figure entrepreneurs think that it's more. I just need more tactics, more strategies, more offerings, more things, more leads. No, what we're going to show you here today with Eric's business is how the path to more is actually through less. Tune in as we break this down and apply it to your business. Let's get started right now with Eric. Come check it out. All right, today we've got another 6 to 7 figure feature. My man, Eric Moeller. What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, buddy? Doing good, man.
Dude, excited to talk about your business.
Yeah.
So take us back. When did you get into business, and ultimately, what did you create now?
I grew up in a construction family,
Okay.
so we were always working on real estate, but I grew up listening to stories of my family in the past, owning a bunch of real estate, but losing it in the Great Depression.
Okay.
And then when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it just put it in my mind that for me to really control my life and what I wanted to create, I have to go through real estate. It was just something I was just naturally attached to, right? So I started that at 19, started rehabbing houses with my bare hands and started flipping them and turning that into a company, and then did that for about 10 years, sold that company and came out to California. And what I do now is I run properties on Airbnb. Right. So I rent houses, we rent them back out on Airbnb. But what I'm scaling now is the educational company.
Right. To get to this point, over the past couple years, what's been kind of the key levers that helped you go from zero to above $200,000 really as quickly as possible over the past 12, 18 months?
Yeah, I think one is just full immersion, so like diving in 100%. Two is like surrounding myself with just incredible people that have done it before. I think, Tony Robbins says success leaves clues, right? So like that was my thing. It was like full immersion into this industry and full immersion into learning how to build courses, learning how to sell, learning how to lead communities, all of that. I just became completely obsessed with creating the best product possible. And we did that, and we built an incredible community. And now it's time to, scale it, and build a team and start growing.
Yeah, you've got some incredible results, and you've got this high-end market as well that needs to be served as well, that you're becoming the leader for, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Tell us about your vision. Like, what do you want to create here?
Yeah.
Where do you want to go? Where do you want to take it?
Yeah, I see, where I want to take this company, the educational company, is I want to bring short-term rentals to the world. We want to develop this to literally teach everybody from the mom and pop to the large companies that are converting buildings to mini hotels, and we want to bring this practice, the best way to run a short-term rental, and educate people from all around the world on how to do it correctly.
Yeah, and why? Like, why does that fire you up? Why do you
get
up day in and day out?
I just freaking love it. I love the fact that every single day I'm talking either on my properties or the educational company. I'm talking to people from literally all around the world, which is amazing. Two is I'm obsessed with real estate. So like getting the opportunity to stay in these properties all around the world, renting the properties myself and generating cash flow. And there's a huge opportunity there. I see that opportunity, and I don't see anybody else really capturing it. And I'm just very certain within myself and my team and the people around me that we can literally create just an incredible company that's going to impact many people around the world.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's go break things down, see where you're at, and help you get to that 7 figures and beyond. Sound good?
Thanks, brother.
All right, man.
Let's go, man.
Let's do it. All right, Eric, tell us what we need to know. Tell us the big challenge that you're facing, and let's help you start to scale.
So my company is called Co-Host Mastery, and what we do is we teach people how to build businesses on platforms like Airbnb, Booking, TripAdvisor. So it creates short-term rental businesses. And what we specialize in is teaching people how to leverage other people's properties So how to rent this house, stage it, and then re-rent it back out on Airbnb and make a difference. And then through there, we have a huge community, online free community called the Airbnb Profit Club. Then we have our how-to course teaching people the whole business. Recently, we just launched a 4-week coaching program. And we also have a mastermind called STR Legends, STR Legends Live. Right now is bringing in the AA players. I've been a solo business owner for the last 2 years now, or going on 2 years. Now we're finally in a position of growth, and the vision is to grow the #1 short-term rental educational company in the world. And I have no doubt that we can't do that. I mean, I feel it's just so clear for us. So now I'm bringing in the team members to help me do this. So I got it to a certain point that I can bring it to. Now it's time for growth.
Yep. Okay. Good. Any clarifying questions? People didn't understand first.
I think that #1, I love your vision. If we could like write that down on the board, because we're
right at the top.
Constantly come back to that. So the vision is to become the #1 STR education company in the world. So you have the community, you have the course, you have the coaching, and then you have the STR Legends. So if you can just give us a brief background on just some of those key numbers so we have an idea of where you are right now, that'd be awesome to kind of kick things off.
Yep. So we have the Airbnb Profit Club free Facebook group. It's just organically just growing. I've never put any money into growing this yet. We just built out the funnel, so we're gonna start driving traffic here. We do two trainings a month, and I bring in big experts like Booking.com and some of the leading companies to do free trainings in this group, which is freaking awesome. And then we have a funnel that we create through ManyChat and then email sequence that we're selling roughly anywhere between 5 and 10 courses a month through the Facebook group.
So the revenue is coming from the courses specifically?
As of now, yeah. Yeah, I have a vision on how we can monetize this further, but this is what's currently happening.
Got it.
Yeah. Then we have the co-host mastery. All right, I'll just do this. Plus coaching. Mm-hmm. This is beta.
So you're going to have 2 different options?
Right. Yeah.
So there's going to be one with a coach and one without a coach.
Exactly.
So are you already selling the coaching?
We literally just started yesterday. We just sold 3 yesterday. Today we have 5 more calls, so we'll probably sell those. Okay, so I'll sell these all day long.
You're selling it via phone?
Yeah.
All right. How do they get there to these offers?
Yeah. So just 45 days ago, I shut down all my ads. I shut down everything to bring people in to rebuild all of this because we had so many holes in the course. We were getting a lot of returns essentially. So we got that feedback. I stopped all the leads. Right now, the only way that people are buying this right now is through the community. Okay. So it's just coming through. Eventually, the way that we're going to fulfill this moving forward is affiliates plus FB ads.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
So I just launched the STR Legends Mastermind alongside Jasper. We've done one event down in Puerto Rico, and it was a hit. It was crazy successful. So I'm putting all my effort into growing this here because to me that's the biggest growth opportunity right now. So what we're doing is we're planning out 3 more single mastermind events. They're going to be capped to 25 people because what we do is we rent big luxury homes. We bring out everybody, they stay in the house. We do the mastermind in the house. So it's really intimate, right? So it's not, we're not shooting for crazy amount of numbers per mastermind. So it's going to be capped at 25. Each event, each ticket will cost anywhere between $5,000 and $7,000, depending on the room and the person's involvement. The vision is to, in 2020, is to grow this to a $25,000 a year mastermind. Mm-hmm. So converting it from single events to an actual high-level mastermind. And the vision that I think is possible is doing 200 people at this price. And essentially we would have we would have multiple single events per quarter. And then the vision behind this too is once you join the SDR Legends, you get 2 location events plus the ongoing Mastermind every month. So this is what I'm stepping into. This is what I want to fill. As of right now, we're filling this through affiliates plus sponsors. So yeah, that's the business model right now.
Okay, so we understand some of the numbers of the 6 month. Now we need to bring it back into an actionable plan that we can start to build this. What is the first step that we need to work through? You remember? First thing that we need to do.
I feel like I missed a question on the test here.
The first thing that we all need to do, does anybody know? Well,
I got the vision.
We've got the vision. Nope. No. So the first thing that we need to do.
Systems.
Nope. The first thing we've got to do is make this shit easier.
Yeah.
That's not easy? This is a lot.
Okay.
This is a lot.
I thought it was easy. Okay.
This is a lot. To make something great, we've got to go deep into it, have all the systems, and then you can get out. All right, the way that we think about it is like a scale team or a SEAL team. Like we figure out, okay, here's the vision. All right, let's bring this back to here's the problem that we're trying to solve. Let's get in there. Let's turn it into be a machine, and then let's get out. And that way you can have other people run it, because that's ultimately your goal.
Yeah.
Because you want to have this thing that's a machine that other people are running it, so that you can focus on your zone of genius, which is relationships and connection and being the face and ultimately getting to SDR Legends. So the first thing we got to do is we got to figure out what we're going to cut out. All right. Oftentimes, it's going to be at least 20%, if not 60% of our time and energy and focus that we can just straight up, at least for right now. It's not into eternity. It's for the next 30, 60, 90 days, remove it and not even talk about it. All right. What are we going to do? What are we going to cut out? What are we going to remove from our conversations the next 60 plus days?
Okay. So that's interesting because I feel like I got to this point because I already went through that process of cutting out the short-term rental business.
Yeah, that's
which is huge, right? That slowed me down trying to build 2 companies at the same time by myself.
How can we make it even easier? This is the hardest thing to do, right? Because all of them are our babies, right? And we see them and we know it's a part of the vision. But the only way that we ever get there is if we make things easier. Because you got, unless you're different. We've got 24 hours in a day, and you're sure as heck not going to spend them all working. I mean, a couple things. All right, so there's 2 major things that so many 6-figure entrepreneurs struggle with that cause so many of their problems that I see here. Number 1 that comes up is that they get some offering to like 60 to 80% good.
Yeah.
Right? And it sounds like that's where these are at. You're getting 100%. Refunds and whatnot. They're good. They're getting some people results, but like they're 60 to 80% of the way there. And then we move on to the next one, and we move on to the next one. We never quite ever finish something and make it really freaking good. And when I say really freaking good, I mean it's getting results, but also guess what? The systems are in place and whatnot that somebody else is running it. So a system isn't complete until we've got the proper numbers, we've got the proper tracking with that, and we've got the proper team or owner running it. That is when a system is officially complete. Then it's a machine. So we need to take whatever offerings we're going to identify here and stop getting them 60, 80% and use all the feedback that we have to get them to 100%, which means we've got these things in place that they're running and they're generating, and it's not this up and down thing. It's done and built, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is just a crazy common horrible training. It's a crazy common like misconception in the digital marketing world, which is this thing called the ascension ladder. All right, and what most people are pretty much everybody starting out with digital marketing, what they're taught is that you need an ascension ladder. So we start with free, and then we've got a tripwire, and then we've got some course, and then we've got an upsell, and then we've got this high end. And what we have here is we've got different offerings at different levels, at different price points, right? It gets more expensive as you go up, right? We've got different offerings, but here's the thing. The person that buys a $997 thing, is that the person that's going to pay you 25,000 bucks? Most of the time it's not. So what we've got now is we've got different offerings and we've got different avatars. To me, this looks a whole lot like what? Different businesses.
It's 3 different businesses.
It's at least 2, if not 3 different businesses here. So what we've got to do is first of all figure out what we can cut out, what we can chop out, so that we can have the numbers make sense. Because the third piece that most do is they build a business around, you know, something that's max of 97. Your LTV, I know your numbers of what they've been in the past 12 months. Your average lifetime value of a client has been probably somewhere around $700 plus or minus $200. Even though you have these people, you only did 1 event so far, so you're not going to get rich and really be able to scale with $700. You also mentioned that these people right here, this level, they bring a lot of headaches, a lot of issues. So if we're looking at, okay, how do we get to that 7-figure mark? What we want to do is see what's the math that we need to make this as simple as humanly possible. All right, so we understand the long-term vision. We understand some of the numbers of where you want to go in the next 6 months. The question is, how do we bring this back to right now? So I lead all this in to say that actually what I see that we need to cut out for now is this. Personally, I think that we've got to focus on turning this into be a machine so that you're at least breaking even, because this is your real profit. This is your real moneymaker. All right, but this doesn't ever happen and ever become a vision if none of this is a machine. And right now, this is your moneymaker. And it's not going to be potentially both of these. Maybe it is, but it's got to be here as kind of your bread and butter that's doing this. Or we can focus on just this one. But like we've got to have like a 30 to 60 day focus to turn at least one of these into a machine that, as I said earlier, somebody else is running, that you've got the numbers, that we've got the repeatability and scalability. All right. So what's standing out to you as far as like what we can simplify and cut out?
No, I mean, I agree with you guys 100%. You know, it's that's an interesting model because I've been rejecting the model or the idea of creating coaching, but now with the understanding of we're going to turn you into a legend, right? And if we do this correctly, and I have the owner who's open to owning this whole thing. We just got to figure out how to structure it, right? And then we have a coach now who's willing to lead this, right? That makes sense to me 100%, you know, and I agree, you know, too, like getting rid of the $1,000. I just don't want to deal with that side.
Those are not your people.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be your profit. This is going to be your moneymaker. This is going to be the thing that actually moves the needle.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing's huge.
Because if you can then be in a spot where you've got the advertising, you've got the JV partners and whatnot, that you're already profitable by the time they come through this is just pure profit, pure growth. Because what you want is this machine on the front end, through Facebook groups, through affiliates, through advertising and whatnot, that's continually feeding this because you know it's profitable. And you know that, guess what? It's super scalable because you're not involved in this.
Sure.
You're seeing the report on Fridays and being like, hey, here's the problem within this particular core offering. And we can really optimize that, not take it from 60 to 80%, take it to 100%, and have somebody that's continually improving it every month, every couple months, then it's beautiful, right?
Yep.
Good?
Yeah, let's go to work.
All right, let's give him a round of applause.
Thanks, man.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, so what we talked about here with Eric, and the big takeaway for me is the same thing that we work so many 6-figure business owners through, which is you've got this offering over here, you've got this other thing. None of them are fully completed in such a way that they can scale with results and scale without you. So what we looked at here is how we can turn Eric's business to be a machine. And the way that you build a machine is one system at a time. But also what we've got to do is we've got to look at the whole business as a whole. And before it becomes a whole machine, we have to look back at what we call a mini machine. So what we talked about here is simplifying his entire business down to the key one that he needs to focus on. We started with the long-term vision, then we brought it back, and we brought it back, and we brought it back, and we find one core offer that's going to be the key to his business, specifically at least the key to focus on in the next 60 to 90 days. And now we're going to turn that to be a complete machine, one that doesn't need Eric to drive the results, because his natural talents are to be the artist, or are to be the entrepreneur, not necessarily to be the operator, the one that's going to own the results day in and day out. So if he can find somebody, which he already has, to help run that and empower them and set them up to succeed, to really build this really strong business unit, he's going to be able to accomplish this big vision that he has. So think about simplification in your business and how it applies to you. So if you enjoyed this video, if you got some good ideas from it, if you really learned, hey, there's some things that are applicable to you, I want to hear from you. Comment below. Let me know what's your biggest takeaway, what really stood out to you. And again, all these videos, all this information is going to be worthless if you don't put it together into an action plan. So take some time right now, just a couple minutes, to think about and map out exactly what you're going to do from this video. What are some actions that you can take to start to scale, to start to make things easier in your business? We talked about a lot of general principles. They're hopefully applicable to you in your business. So press the like button, comment below. I look forward to hearing from you what your big takeaway is, and most importantly, seeing how you apply these to your business to get that momentum that you know is possible. Austin Nessie here with 2X. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, but keep taking action one step at a time and you'll build a machine. Talk soon. All right, Eric, so it's been over 30 days now. So when you came here and we were on the whiteboard, we were breaking down that a team was a big opportunity for you. So first of all, catch us up on the team before we talk about some of the major things that you accomplished here.
Yeah. So right away I went out and I realized what my strengths were and tried to find people that could fit into the team that will complement my strengths, but also take on my weaknesses, if you will. So pretty quickly I aligned myself with somebody in the space that in the short-term rental space that is the artist type. So he's who loves doing one-on-one with students and focusing on content and really being in the weeds of the business, which is something that I personally don't thrive in. So I was able to bring him on, and he's essentially heading our coaching division of the company now. We brought on a project manager who's helping us with all the multiple projects and launches we have going on. And then lastly, we brought on two other team members, a salesperson, phone sales, and we brought on a part-time COO, which is pretty awesome. So moving
yeah,
quick.
You are moving. That's huge.
Yeah.
So my favorite one out of all of that, even more than the operations and the project manager, is the coach, somebody that can really handle fulfillment in that entire client journey, as we were talking about. So can you talk about how that's going to allow you to scale by having that and the model changes that you now see, having a really top caliber person to lead fulfillment?
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges that we mapped out on the whiteboard was in the beginning I had a $997 offer, and that's all I had was a $997 offer. And I was running into so many issues of hiring people because there was no cash flow and there was too much, customer fulfillment for a $997 product, right? So right away we rebranded and we added 8 weeks of coaching, group coaching, onto that $997 product, and we're selling it for $2,000 right now. And we just did an internal launch and just crushed it. We just got a whole brand new class of people in there. And all I did was brought on this coach who's leading those 8 weeks of coaching, and it's group coaching. So it's very scalable. So it's not one-on-one. And I built out the format, built out the training for it, and he's just fulfilling on that. But most importantly is he's staying in the weeds, fulfilling with the customer journey throughout the 8 weeks that they're in that coaching. So answering questions, going live in the groups every day, literally reaching out to students and helping them with their Airbnb listings and their customer service issues. It's freed up hours and hours and hours of my time to where like now all I'm focused on is the right partnerships to scale this, model.
And that stuff that you just mentioned, that was the draining stuff for you, right? Like that was the stuff that you just wake up and you're like, crap, I know I've got to deal with some of those.
I don't like it.
So let me just recap here. What you've talked about here is you've hired and built a really, really amazing team compared to what you had 30, 45, 60 days ago. You've hired somebody to take over fulfillment. You've doubled your price. And with that, you've changed your model, helping improve your client satisfaction. So you've set them up for much better success and you're getting more value out of them. You've got somebody else running that. Let's talk about the numbers. What have you been able to do the past 30 days? How is that different than what you were doing before?
Yeah, so on top of that, we also launched a high-level mastermind on top of it called Short-Term Rental Legends. So I've done one event called the Legends in July, months ago, but we just launched a second one. So all the momentum around the Short-Term Rental Profit Academy is starting to gain momentum within the whole industry. So we were able to sell we're going to do about $150,000 on a 3-day weekend in Cartagena, Colombia in January, right? So all this, we just launched that yesterday. But we were able to do within a 3-week launch. So obviously it took some time to build the systems, build the products, all that stuff, get everyone up to date. And then we did a launch. Within 3 weeks, we did just under about $80,000 just on our list. No ads, no promotions, just emails, right, to our list. So we did 80,000 on that. We've done about $27,000 in the last 48 hours on the Mastermind. We've locked up an anchor sponsor for the Mastermind as well. And now we're starting to build a waiting list for the Profit Academy, which is the $2,000 product. So it's crazy, man. The momentum right now is just freaking building. And that stuff is giving me energy.
Absolutely. And the marketing that you just did for this recent launch, you've got the systems and the structure in place. You've validated some certain things. You're going to tweak and improve a couple of things to make it even better. And then just do this thing over and over and over again. So the exponential growth that's coming up with these model changes, with the great team in place, with the systems now, is a beautiful thing. So keep it going, man.
Thanks, man.
Keep it up. We'll keep posted on your progress and your success, my man.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.